Hi, I'm Liz, and I want to tell you about a story that I thought to be the end of my life. But it turned out to be a new beginning. To make a long story short, I got pregnant when I was 15. Shocking, isn't it? It all happened in high school, in my junior year. The year of Sweet 16, driving permits, and junior prom. The year I met my first boyfriend and got into a naive, head-spinning first love. We weren't very attentive about contraception. Neither were really well informed on the matter. Then, for a few weeks, I had no period. But I didn't worry, as my cycle was still immature. Until one morning, my reflection surprised me. Had my fairy godmother come? My breasts looked fantastic. A light bulb went off. Suddenly, all I could think was, I might be pregnant. An ad for a clinic that was offering free pregnancy tests grabbed my attention, and I went. A friend drove me. The woman walked me through the pregnancy test. A tiny plus sign materialized. Then my world crumbled. I put on a fake smile and kept moving through a resemblance of normal life. It was only a matter of time before my parents figured it out. My breasts were growing. My stomach would soon follow. I wasn't sure how my parents would react, and I didn't want to be influenced by their opinion on the matter. Now I regret I wasted time in doubts. In the meantime, the gossip was spreading. Odd calls and stalking from religious teens I knew, and even some worried parents threatening to involve my parents in order to prevent me from an abortion. I was infuriated. Not that I was tending to the abortion, but it was supposed to be totally my decision. What's more, in my understanding, it was me who was to inform my parents, so that is how we finally had a talk. They were inevitably distressed about the pregnancy, but vowed to support me whichever path I chose. And after my boyfriend told his family, his mom called mine. They pledged unwavering support. I would have been lost without all of them. Even with all that love, life as a pregnant teen was awful. 16 was not sweet. Dreams of college vanished. I was ashamed. I was depressed. September arrived. The school year began without me. I finished the year with homeschooling, isolated. Friends visited, but it hurt to hear about their life without me. By that point, my boyfriend and I didn't like each other very much. We disagreed on literally everything. So when I came to delivery, I was in pieces. My daughter arrived 2 weeks early after 23 hours of labor. I'm not sure how I tolerated it, but my mom, my boyfriend, and my boyfriend's mom were by my side. Throughout all of this, I endured lots of public contempt. I was lucky to have had endless support. I can't imagine what life is like for girls who are forced into motherhood or embrace it alone. Some time now has passed. My boyfriend grew into a wonderful dad. Eventually, as we became adults, we parted our ways, but he's there for our girl, and he travels hours to spend time with her. He's someone that could be counted on. People often assume that since I had a child as a teen, I must be pro-life. I'm not. It was my choice to be a mother, not something forced upon me. It was a choice that I am grateful I had. Wish any teen mom could tell an inspiring story like this.
Hello, I am Anne, and I want to warn you. If you hear the word drugs, you will at once imagine horrible pictures of sick people. My experience will show you that drugs can reach you anywhere, even in the nice environment of good people, and try to ruin your life. Here we go. I come from a very small town, but my ambition has always been to move to a big city. I finished my school with top votes, and managed to enter the best university away from my home and parents. I got a place in a nice dormitory, alongside with other students from small towns. I need to add that we entered a medical university, which is the synonym of very hard studies and endless amounts of information to learn. I had always wanted to become a doctor, So I was really enthusiastic at the beginning. I took detailed notes of anything I was told at the lectures and seminars, and learned by heart any information I could find in course books. It all went well, until, at some point, I noticed I started forgetting things. The older students explained that it was brain overload, and that it often happened with first-year students. They also told me that there was a solution: memory pills. In brief, drugs. Not very dangerous ones, though. I first had doubts, because, drugs. But after a couple of worrying episodes, I made my choice, and took the first pills. I suddenly became so concentrated, so active. They warned me that I had better take these pills only during the exam periods, but I ignored the advice. When I tried to do without the pills, I again failed to remember all the lists of medical terms I was supposed to learn by heart. So I took the pills pretty much all the time. During the day, I was very active. Problems came at night. I could hardly get any sleep, and I entered the vicious circle when, due to insomnia, I had to take more drugs, not to fall asleep during the lectures. Now I understand that I came to my first exam session absolutely exhausted, but when I came to my first exam, I was sure that everything would be fine. Before I entered the exam room, I took a slightly bigger dose of pills, just to be sure that I would remain concentrated till the end of the day. As I got a paper with test questions and came to my seat, I started feeling dizzy. I got a strong heartbeat, got all sweaty, catching my breath, and then darkness came. When I woke up, I saw that I was surrounded by doctors and my anatomy professor, who was looking strange at me. At that point, they had already diagnosed. I was an overdose. I got myself into huge trouble. My university called my parents. The administration knew I was a good student, and so they said that I could get a temporary leave and come back the next year, but totally clean. Otherwise, they said at the first suspicion, I would be out in no time. In the meantime, I was supposed to turn back home and get through a rehab course. I had already worked out the addiction, and this fact, and bitter shame, made my next several months pretty much unforgettable. Now, everything is fine. I returned to the university, and I kept myself far from any substance stronger than orange juice. And to anyone interested, I can say that even if some drug can have pleasant effects that you need, side effects are much worse. So don't listen to anyone who proposes you some magic pills. This magic can turn out to be hell. Take care. I would just be grateful if you could share this video with your friends so that they know the danger of drug usage. Please also leave a comment to support my story. It is very important for me.